Hello and welcome to another tutorial by Happy Cloud Solutions. I know it's been a while since we posted a video, but there's kind of like been a lot of restructuring going on at the back end, but hopefully there'll be more consistency from now on. Anyway, so today's video will basically be looking at the Azure B2C and how to use it to create user flows for sign in, sign up, profile editing, and so on and so forth. So as you can see here on the screen, we have a sign in page which was created using the Azure B2C. So within this tutorial, we're going to see how to set this up, how to ensure that your user is not a robot by enabling CAPTCHA, and also how to, enable the forgot your password. That's like self password reset for your customers. So, like for example, when you click this, you'll be required to put in like your email address. Then it sends a verification code to the email address just to confirm that you have access to that email address, and then to require you to put in your new password. Yeah. So is this what I used here? It's kind of loading. Is the user flow. All right. So if you click on policies, user flows, you can see that I created a profile editing and sign up and sign in policy. So I'm also going to show you how to do the one for a custom policy. All right. And that's basically using the identity experience framework. And here you see that I created a password reset flow, profile editing, sign up and sign in using XML files. And this is what we're going to touch in this video. I mean, okay, for this one, which involves custom policy, I'm going to do it in a different video because it's going to require additional things like we're going to use create an app on Facebook where you're going to now be able to create an app ID and app secrets that you're going to use for your social account. So in this scenario, what happens is when you click sign up or sign in and you click run now, okay, it's going to give you the option to sign in with your Facebook account. Okay, you can put other ones, but with this one, we're just dealing with Facebook. All right, so let's get to it. Like I said, we are starting with the one for user flow. So I'm just going to create a new one and we're all going to do this together. All right, so we are going to start by creating the Azure B2C tenant. To do that, click on create a resource and you can just type in here B2C. And then you see down here Azure Active Directory B2C. Click on that. All right. So what you would do is now to go through this and find the one that you want. The one that we need is this one right here, which says Azure Active Directory B2C Tenant. So I'm just going to select Create. So now it's going to ask you if you want to create a new one or link an existing B2C tenant to my Azure subscription. So if you have one already existing, you can link it to your Azure subscription. But in this case, we are creating a new one. All right. So organization name, I'm just going to say Harpy Cloud Solutions. Just call it Happy Cloud Solutions. And domain name, Harpy Cloud Solutions. All right. So here I'm going to select Australia as my country. All right. So for certain countries like Australia and Japan, there is something called the Go Local Data Residency that's available. And this is if you want to store your data exclusively within that country or region. All right. So then what you do here is to tick this. But in this scenario, we it's a test environment. We don't have any, you know, geographical or data residency requirements. All right. So we're just gonna continue. This is a subscription I want to put it in. And then for resource group, I'm just gonna put it in the B2C resource group that I created. Next, review plus create. Check that everything is fine. And by the way, you can also enable this after the B2C is created. That's the Go Local Data Residency, and we're going to see that. So then just click on create, and it's being created. It takes some minutes to get created, so I'm going to pause and come back when it's done. So now we see that tenant creation was successful. Click here to navigate to your new tenant. So now the B2C tenant is a different tenant from your Azure subscription. So it's going to take you to a different tenant that is different from your Azure portal where you actually created the resource. Okay. So now as you can see here, it says Azure AD B2C tenant. And remember that I also said that if you still need to enable the Go data location thing, you can enable it after creation. All right. So you see here, enable data residency. But I don't need to do that. So I'm not going to select that option. So now, before your application can interact with Azure B2C, they must be registered in a tenant that you manage. All right. So right now, what we're going to do is to register a web application in my B2C tenant. And we're going to do that from the unified app registration experience that is provided here. So I just click on manage and app registration, and then new registration. So we're just going to give it a name of web app 1, and you can leave this as accounts in any identity provider or organization directory. So then for redirect URI, I'm going to select web, and I'm going to put in the jwt.ms URL. So this is it. So basically, the redirect URI is the endpoint to which the user is sent by the authorization server, which is Azure AD B2C in this case. So after completing its interaction with the user, and to which an access token or authorization code is sent upon successful authorization. So in a production application, it's typically a publicly accessible endpoint where your app is running, like for example, https colon backward slash happycloudsolutions.com slash sign up one or something like that. So for testing purposes, like this tutorial, you can set it to jwt.ms, okay, which is basically a Microsoft owned web application that displays the decoded contents of a token. So now we're going to leave this as grant admin consent to open ID and offline access permissions. Select register. Right, so we're going to wait for that to be done registering. So now that we have the web app created, that's the application that we just registered. The next thing that we want to do is to create a secret. So basically, from the application here, you can click on add a certificate or secret, and then you come over here, new client secret, give it a name. You can just give it a name as client secret one, and I'm just going to give it for 3 months. Doesn't matter because it's a test, and I'll delete this after the tutorial. All right. So once that is done, you've clicked on add. You want to save the value immediately because it does not store its value on your Azure portal. So I'm just going to copy this right now and paste in my notes. Okay. So now that we've done that, we want to enable ID token implicit grant. So if you register this app and configure it with jwt.ms app for testing the user workflow or custom policy, you need to enable the implicit grant flow in the app registration. And to do that, just click on authentication here. All right. And then come here down here to implicit grant and hybrid flows. Select this and save. All right. So right now we've been able to do that. The next thing we're going to do is to create a user flow. So it's either you're using the predefined built-in user flow that is provided by Azure, or you're creating your own custom policy. We're going to do the one for the custom policy in a different tutorial, which can also be found in this YouTube channel. But for now, what we're going to do is the one for the user flow. And trust me, you don't want to miss the one for the custom policy, because I'm also going to show you, that's in the next tutorial, how to register with a Facebook application. But for now, let's do the one for the predefined user flow. Okay, so to create the user flow, you come back to your Azure AD B2C Tenant, you click on policies, and then you select user flows. All right. And so obviously, as you can see now, there is no user flow. We want to create a new one. You select new user flow, and then you can create different user flow types. You can do sign up and sign in, profile editing, password reset. We're going to do these three. All right. But first, we want to select sign up and sign in, and then we want to go with this recommended option here and select create. Okay. So now you want to give it a name, and I'm just going to give it a name of sign up, sign in one. And for identity providers, I'll select email sign up. And just going to scroll down. If you want to enforce MFA, you can put always on here, but I don't want to do this for this. If you want conditional access policies, you can also select it here. So right now, I'm going to select the user attributes, and I'm going to go with giving name, surname, email address, and okay, country. So for return claims, I'm just going to select country and surname. All right. So after that, you just click on create. So once it's done creating, the next thing that we're going to do is to test our user flow to show that it actually works. All right. So it's done creating. Click on it and click on run user flow. All right. So just before I do this, I want to go through the properties. So there's something that I also want to enable now, which is enable CAPTCHA. So this is still a preview feature. You know how when you go to maybe you want to sign into a new website and they say confirm that you're not a robot. Yeah, that's what this is. So if I want during signing or during sign up that CAPTCHA is enabled, I'll just select here, here, and here. So I mean, like I'm going to select for both just so that a robot doesn't sign up, and also for signing to ensure that a robot doesn't sign in. So I'll select save. Okay, it's updating. So once it's updating, all right. So it looks all good. I'm now going to click on run user flow. So if you have two reply URLs, you can select the one you want, but I have one, so I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to click on run user flow. It brings me here. You see the CAPTCHA thing that I told you about. Right now, we haven't signed up. So first, we have to sign up before we sign in. So click on sign up, email address, info at Harpy Cloud Solutions.com. Enter the CAPTCHA value and click send verification code. So you need to enter the verification code that you receive in order to continue. All right. So I got a code of 368766. So now that's good. Verify code. That works. So next thing you have to set a password. I'm just going to use this password as provided because it's just for test. Country remains Australia. Given name Harpy surname cloud, and then create. All right. So right now it's signed you up and automatically signed you into the application, which is the jwt.ms. Now, if you look at the claims, remember we said return claims. You see that it's bringing the family name and country just as we requested. You can also click the run user flow, and now you can sign in because you've already signed up. So I'm gonna put this and sign in. So now, voila, it works. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is to create a user flow for profile editing and password reset for so users can self reset their password. So the next thing we're going to do is to set up a user flow for profile editing. But before we do that, we're going to enable self-service password reset for the sign up and signing user flow that we just created. So here you can just click on properties and then scroll down. Then you see password configuration. Just select self-service password reset and then click on save. All right. So now users will now be able to reset their password if they forget it. All right. So now the next thing we want to do is to create another user flow for profile editing. So I'm just going to select new user flow, select profile editing, and create. So I'm just going to give it a name of profile editing one and select this, scroll down. So you also want to select the user attributes that you want. So let's see. So I'm going to do this for return claim. All right. So you're basically choosing the attributes that you want the customer to be able to edit in their profile. All right. So this means that I want a customer to be able to edit their given name, surname, just because maybe someone might change their name. And then display name, you might also want to be able to change your display name to something more trendy. And if you change your location, you might also want to change your country in your profile, environment. So you can also select show more for other things because people can change addresses. You can also select postal code, and you can also do this for return claim. Select this as you desire. Um, and when you're done, select OK. So now we've done that, click on create. Once you've done that, basically you get your profile editing here. Okay, so now I'm just going to click on this profile editing and run user flow. All right, signing. So now it's now allowing me to be able to update some information. All right. Um, this is the country or region. This is the giving name. This is the postal code, and this is the family name or surname. Let me confirm what this is. This one that says unknown. So let's see. You can see the attributes that you enabled here. So there's display name, there's giving name. So I would, from my understanding of what I configured before, I would say that this here is the display name. So if you hover over it, you're going to see your display name. Have you seen that? All right. So you can now put in the details and then click on continue. So that's that. So basically, I didn't do anything. So I went back, and that's why I said access denied, but that's fine. Let's go to the other user flow so I can show you how you can also reset your password. Close this, sign up and signing. So click on Run User Flow. So as you can see here, first of all, we're confirming that we can sign in. PVNL signing. All right, so now I've been able to sign in. You can see the claims that have been returned here. So now basically I'm just going to close this. I'm going to do that again. And I'm going to click on Forgot Your Password. So it's going to require you to select your email address. It's going to send a verification code to you, which you have to impute. After you impute that verification code, then you can, reset your password. This is basically just to ensure that it's the right person. So let's do that. The code is, let's see, 368. Nope. 995695. Verify code and continue. So now you can put in your new password and confirm password. So yes, we have been able to create a sign up and sign in authentication page. We've been able to configure profile editing, and we've also been able to configure password reset and also CAPTCHA, to ensure that it's not a bot that is trying to sign up or sign in. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and were able to follow along. The next tutorial will be on how to create custom policies. So basically, if you go to Azure AD B2C, instead of selecting the user flows, you select the identity experience framework and then configure your custom policy. But we're going to do that in the next video. So stay tuned.